Now, Harvard University might be one of the most interesting colleges in the world. In between the constant news articles, hundreds of YouTube videos, and more tourists on campus than actual students, I think it's safe to say these students have a completely different college experience than any other school out there. But love them or hate them, there's still one thing about this place that nobody can really argue. It takes a fucking genius to get in. So today we're back at Harvard yet again with brand new questions, no icebreakers. And instead of asking the same question that these students are sick of answering, I'm here to get the real tea about this place that everybody's been dying to know. Let's do it. So first question, starting off easy here. What is your name? Where are you from? And what are you studying at Harvard?
Hi, my name is Sydney.
Ahmed. Selen.
Ethan.
Bahar.
Matt.
My name is Pratt. I'm from Dallas, Texas.
Prince George's County, Maryland.
Belmont, Massachusetts.
I'm from Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul, Turkey.
Northern California, Bay Area.
Originally from Metro Atlanta, and I'm studying government and molecular biology.
Social studies and Middle Eastern studies.
Econ with a secondary in psychology.
Classical languages and linguistics.
Computer science and government.
I'm planning on studying neuroscience and going down the pre-med route.
Wow, okay. First pre-med of the day, okay. And was Harvard your first choice of a college?
Well, okay. My first choice was Yale.
What? The enemy?
So Harvard was not my first choice. My first choice was actually Stanford.
I was choosing between Stanford, Columbia, and Princeton.
I went through a Columbia phase in early high school.
I didn't even want to rank it as my #1 because I was too scared.
Honestly, I didn't apply to a ton of Ivies. I just there were a couple I was interested in. Obviously, I applied to a lot of UCs, USC, places like that.
I didn't particularly like Harvard beforehand. I feel like I had some kind of, prejudice against it.
Harvard was definitely by far my top. Should I elaborate on
Yeah, Harvard was my first choice because it was so close to my house and it was such a good school.
I'm an athlete, so I got recruited here, but it was definitely my top choice.
Harvard was my first choice, but I was deciding between a couple.
And why'd you choose Harvard specifically?
It's Harvard. But also it has a ton of great people, community is great.
The professors were just incredible. The campus was wonderful. The energies, the vibes, the city is great.
This is totally the place for me. I couldn't see myself going anywhere else.
Just absolutely blown away when I got in. It was just such a shock.
The first school I applied to was Harvard, and I got in, and then they were like, welcome. And I was like, great. So 100% acceptance rate to all the colleges I applied to.
Oh, yeah.
I only applied to one.
And the one just happens to be the best one in the country, so, that easy. And now getting into the more juicy questions here. Oh, yeah, here we go. What is the weirdest interaction you've had with another Harvard student?
The weirdest interaction. This is a tough one.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of something very strange.
Oh my gosh, wait, I really don't, I'm so sorry, I really don't know.
I think one time I met somebody at a party and the first thing they asked me for was for my LinkedIn.
Wow, Riz!
Oh my god, I ran into this guy, and oh my god, bless his heart. I don't think he knows how to do his laundry, so his mom was helping him do his laundry.
We had basically an adult who was I had a scooter, and the adult was on my scooter because they wanted to whip it around Harvard Yard.
That 6 French guys just showed up.
Oh my god, yeah.
And they're just here. And so then they were we need a place to stay. And so Demir took them in the dorm, these 6 Frenchmen.
Maybe not the weirdest, but this is one more recent that I can remember. So I was showering and I went to shower and I forgot my keys, so I was locked out and it was 2 a.m. And so I was just sitting with my towel in the D hall for an hour and people were just walking in grabbing food and I was just naked with my towel. But so that was a bit awkward, but.
No, that's tough. That definitely tops our list today, for sure. And kind of building off of the whole interaction thing here, what is the most bizarre, rich thing you've seen a Harvard student do on campus?
Oh boy,
Oh, that's a tough question. I feel like there's a lot.
I heard of this one person, they asked what airline do you fly, and they said their dads. And I was like, oh, okay.
Posting a selfie from a private jet before class and then seeing them at class that night is kind of interesting.
The people who go to Europe on weekends. I know the plane tickets, but that's not affordable.
I think I saw somebody with 3 of those Cartier lump bracelets on one arm, the ones that you have to screw on.
A couple of people I've also met have last names that the buildings have here, so.
Well, yeah, if they have a building here, going to Europe on the weekend, it makes sense, definitely makes sense.
I think a lot of people just have houses everywhere, and so I know someone who was like, I need to work on a project, let me go to my beach house on the Cape. Not something that I can do, but
I've seen people pay for on-campus housing and then off-campus housing too, which is crazy because they don't even live here on Harvard, they live across the street.
Oh wow. So double time in the rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit, it ain't cheap around Boston either. And now leaning more back into the more academic side here. What do you think is the #1 study tip that helped you get into Harvard?
Well, first of all, I'll say I don't study that often, but if I do study, I don't read anything unnecessarily, and so that means sometimes not reading at all.
I think just keep up with the reading, and that sounds really dumb, but
I mean, this is very cliche, but to not cram on the last day.
Portion out your work, don't try to do it all at once.
it's easy to let things pile up onto one day and then you can't do all of it, and then you're behind, and then you can never catch up. So I think just like sticking to the syllabus.
Stick to the syllabus.
Yeah.
All right, I like that.
This is so weird, but like to remember things, I write.
I think definitely like flashcards and note cards. I think it's one of the most underused things.
If I like am trying to memorize like facts for a test, like I'll literally write it out and then I'll say it out loud and then I'll write it out again.
Studying for me has to come from a place of wanting to learn. And so my study tip would be really just make sure that what you're doing excites you.
Do things that you're actually passionate about. Don't do anything because you think you're supposed to do it.
Develop your own habits, develop your own tactics, and hone in on them and see what works.
Be good to yourself. Do what excites you, what makes you happy, what's good to you. And at the end of it, I'm sure that that path will take you someplace great.
Do what excites. You know Kelly? Kelly WAKASA?
I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Dang, okay, well, Kelly, if you're watching this, you got 2 new subscribers. You're welcome, my friend. So obviously, you got into Harvard, which means you had some pretty good high school stats.
They're okay. They're okay.
You know, they're all right. So, what was your GPA, your test scores, and were you in any extracurriculars in high school?
I had a 4.0 unweighted GPA, I had a 1600 on my SAT, and a 36 on my ACT. So I think I had some good scores.
My GPA was a 4.0.
4.0.
4.0 unweighted, and then like a 4.4 weighted.
Unweighted 4.13 out of 4.
4.5 weighted.
4.7 or something.
Our school was out of like 100, it wasn't 4.0, so I had like a 98 or so.
96 out of 100.
95 out of 100. My SAT score was like 1540.
1540.
1570 or 1580.
SAT was 1550, and I had 9 APs. I got 5s on all of them.
I got a 1480 on the SAT, a 34 in the ACT.
1580 on the SAT, and a 35 on the ACT.
ACT score is 33, but like I'm also a recruited athlete, so it might be a little skewed.
And what sport do you play?
Fencing.
Fencing? Ooh, okay, okay.
I actually played varsity football in high school with boys, which was very fun. I was not very good. No, I didn't start. I played running back, linebacker, and I did long snapping.
I was in the band. I did a lot of political stuff.
I did my own like model congress type of thing for the like National Assembly in Turkey.
Things like student government. I ran my own like YouTube channel. That was cool. I posted a lot of videos on TikTok too. I wrote one of my essays about that. So.
Wow, fellow social media person. Okay, you want to shout out the channels?
It's Ethan Kelly on TikTok.
There we go. Shout out Ethan Kelly.
I was the editor of a literary review magazine.
I also was in the school newspaper. This is actually merch from there.
Wow, yeah. Look at that. He's repping the merch and everything. Shameless plug.
I love my high school.
Yes.
This guy American.
There we go. I don't know what that means, but yes.
I was like a student government kid. I did a few like honor societies. I played the violin. I ran track and played volleyball and like started a tutoring organization. So.
Holy shit. Wow, yeah, you really checked all the boxes there. And I have one final question for you here. The question that everybody's been waiting for.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm ready.
You're ready, all right. What is the craziest Harvard scandal you've heard while you've been here?
I don't know. Craziest one so far. There's unfortunately been quite a few.
Ooh, okay, I actually have a good answer for this.
There's the big one that everyone's probably talked about.
Yeah, we all know.
I'm sure you've heard the one of, I don't want to butcher her name.
Hi, Gianna.
Gianna. I forget her last name.
Gianna Faith Javaleo.
I actually met her. She was one of the first people I met at Visitas.
So if people don't know, there was this girl in my class, or who I thought was in my class, who pretended to go to Harvard.
They like pretended to be a student fully for like 1 or 2 weeks, and they were in all these group chats and like posting about all this Harvard stuff.
She just was kind of very like in your face about Harvard, and then she didn't actually get in.
I did meet her and I interacted with her a couple of times. We went to karaoke together. Like it was crazy. It was crazy.
Once like school actually started, people started saying like, wait, there's this girl that doesn't actually go here, but she's been acting like she does.
She doesn't have a real ID. She's always asking for other people's IDs. She's like pulling up to class, but she's not enrolled in anything. It's like super sus. People catch on.
Everyone like turned on her like that. I was a little scared. I was like, damn guys, that's pretty crazy.
And then she like I guess got banned, and now I think she's doing it at another school now, like pretending to be a student there.
Holy, she's doing round 2. Holy shit. Okay.
My ex-boyfriend actually goes to the school that she went to, so I think I saw her at her school. It was just really whack. Like the whole situation was really weird. But you know what? Like God bless her. I hope she's having a good time at where she is.
Oh my gosh, the Gianna lore just keeps unfolding here. Holy shit.
Gianna lore is insane.